I definitely was not commenting on that, but okay. I've been blessed with 6 feet tallness. So, all right, stick around. We're just moments away from lighting this candlestick, so get ready. Well, all right, all right. Good morning, everybody. It is now time for round 6. Well, it's round 5, actually, I do believe. It's still for the weekend, but it's Sunday of round 5 out here at Firebird International Raceway. The kids are getting down the front straightaway here. We're going to get everybody out of the car. And if you're out there in the grandstands or you're joining us live online right now, we have Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're excited to have everybody out there and the internet. I'm standing here with Eddie. We're going to get things started. So if you guys are out there and you can hear my voice and you're live, we're going to start this off with the invocation. Eddie, here you go.
Thank you so much, Mark. Would you all join me for a moment of prayer, please? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the opportunity to be back here at Firebird Motorsports Park for this round 5 for this core race series. God, I just want to pray for each and every one that's out here today, for all of the men and women that are working the safety crew. God, be with them. It's going to be a hot day. Just be with them. Keep them safe as they watch over these drivers. And God, for each one of these drivers that are competing today, I want to pray for safety for them as they're in their cars. I know they're out here to compete, to win, but God, you just keep them safe, help them do their best, and just help us to enjoy this day. And God, I thank you for all the ones that make this possible, for all the sponsors, for all the parents, for everybody out here that works hard behind the scenes. God, be with them and let us enjoy this day. And God, we thank you so much for this country that we have, that we get to live in, and we get to enjoy the freedoms thanks to all the men and women that have served our country to be in the military, whether here or overseas. For the ones that are still serving, God, we just pray that you would watch over them, protect them. For the ones that have served, we thank you for their service. And God, for the ones that have paid the ultimate sacrifice, may we never forget what they have given to us. God, just help us enjoy our day. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Well, all right, everybody, we're getting day 2 started here. If you don't mind, stay standing, remove your hat, and we are now going to play the greatest song in the world for the greatest country in the world.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, St.
It's opening ceremony. Eddie, thank you as usual. It is a pleasure to have you out here every time you're out here, Eddie.
It's a blessing to be able to be here.
When
We're
you use
thankful
your credit
for
card,
everything.
Your credit
That one
limit
got
gets
me a little
fuller
emotional.
each time you
I don't know
spend.
why. Every now
Let's
and
say
again,
you have
I
a
get a little emotional
$10,000
with
credit
opening
limit.
ceremonies
Spending
because I remind
$3,000
myself
means
that
you're
we
right at
are
30%.
free and we are
If it
here
feels
to
over
race, and I love
30%,
it.
it may hurt your
Hey,
credit
we'll
score.
just have a great day
Time to
today.
make
Let's
a
go
payment
racing.
I love
on your
it. Yes!
CCU. That's your
All
credit
right,
card
let's get
usage.
things started
Or
here. We
find
got
a
the
new card on Credit Karma
170
to
limited
help
experts
increase
here.
your
We'll start
total
off
credit limit and
our
keep your
day as
CCU
they
on
do.
a
I gotta
good
get the
wavelength.
phone to stop making noise. I did that yesterday, and I gotta admit, today that I'm a little emotional on that one. So, all right, let's start off. Whether you're here live or you're joining us on the live track feed, if you are out there, you can get on multiple formats here today for the live track feed. We got YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook also joins the ranks on top of Rumble. So we have them just about all covered. All right, let's meet the drivers that you'll see out here on the course today in the 198. That's Allie Easton. She's going to be out there on the front row. Jackson Witherow will be right next to her. So Jackson, a hard day of racing yesterday. So hopefully his day will be a little bit better today. Logan Meister as well with another hard day. Jason's giving thumbs up. I see Jason. I love Jason out here already. Thumbs up. He's good. Luke Bale is out there in the number 152 car. And Jake Hill will round off this 170 limited expert. And these are always fun to watch. So if you guys are watching here on the live track feed, it is exciting here. The energy is ready. It's day 2 right here at Core Firebird. It's going to be incredible. Stick around. I'm good for some reason. This is going to be an interesting start indeed. 5 cars out on the course. These are the 170 limited experts, and we are waiting to see the green flag. I was told yesterday I jumped the green a little bit yesterday, so today I am 100% waiting until the green flag is flying. As the anticipation builds, here we go. Race 1. Tangerine. I like that. Also, while we await the green flag, I want to say thank you to everybody who wished me a happy birthday yesterday. My birthday was incredible. Thank you, Jason. It was incredible. You all made it. You guys are my race family, and I enjoyed it immensely, spending it with everybody out here to my extended race family. So thank you, everybody. 55 years old, in case you guys are wondering. Can I say I'm 25 years old? Green flag flies! We are now off and running here for Sunday. And into turn 1, it's going to be Allie Easton in the 198 car with Jackson Witherow. Business as usual for these two. And these two have raced all year long against each other here in this 170 limited expert class. And it will be incredible to watch this race today and how it's going to shape up. Okay. Perfect. You're awesome. Getting things all worked out up here at Race Command out here at Core. You know, I was telling Glenn before we got started today that, you know, there's several race organizations out there that do a lot of things, live track feeds and things, but here at Core, the only variable in the live track feed that is probably not up to par, you're hearing it live from the voice, because everything up here with the live track feed and everything that we have here at Core just works so effortlessly, and it is safe to say we have it down pat. As you will see, uninterrupted live streaming here from today's event, and then one on top of that as well. If the recorded event is not to the highest standards of resolution, Glenn will then transfer the entire event to a higher resolution and then re-record it to the live platforms that we use, such as Facebook, such as Instagram. We've been talking about them all day so far, and we will talk about that because we used to be limited to Rumble, and you had to be signed up for Rumble and watch the live track feed. But now it's just as easy as opening up Instagram. And once you see Instagram, you can see up here on the top here, and all you have to do is go to Core, and away we go. Click right on it. I had it opened up yesterday, and I didn't click on it fast enough, so. And to remind you, Core is spelled C-O-R-R. And there it is, Core Racing, C-O-R-A-C. And just click on the live track feed, and you're off and running. Trying to do it here. And where I was going with this is I was going to tell you, if you're out there watching it live streaming, put all your questions here on the phone. Or if you're here at the race, go ahead and go into Instagram. And you can click on the event. There's about a 30-second delay. And if you type out the questions on Instagram, I will answer them. Back to racing. As the cars come out into the tarmac, out front you can see Ali out front coming down the front straightaway with Jackson Witherrow very close behind. But Ali at this point, she could just take it easy. Not a lot of pressure here from Jackson Witherrow. And the 170 car of Jake Hill will round off the top three. All right, there you have it. I've switched to Facebook, so I'm going to show the camera here. You can see the delay that there is. If you guys want, go ahead and type in your questions right here, and I will answer them. We're going to go with Facebook today. Yesterday I used Instagram, but realized that Instagram only has a 1 hour live stream, so we are switching. I'm going to switch to Facebook. So write all your comments. I'm going to try to respond to them as Mia Chapman comes up here this morning. All your comments here, and I slid over and kind of hogged the screen here. Write all your comments here. I will do my best. To respond. Here we go. So we're going to do it on Facebook. As we said, Facebook has everything we need here, and we can answer the questions. All right. Good morning, Mia Chapman. Here's the microphone. Look who joins me right here in the studio. I got to slide over because I was kind of hogging it. If you're not here, I kind of take it all.
I can't blame you.
Well, what a great day of racing yesterday, and here we are starting here for day number 2. And yesterday being the busy night of Halloween and everything, we had a costume contest there. It was awesome. A lot of people, but as soon as that contest was over, Everybody left. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was definitely a long day of racing yesterday. It was really cool doing the Halloween little trick-or-treat thing here last night. And yeah, I think everybody was definitely exhausted, ready for some rest to get back out here today and give it their all.
I slept like a rock, and I'm still wore out. Like
I did too.
we don't realize that the sun literally drains that much out of you, and we weren't directly in the sun yesterday, so the only time I was in the sun is to go down and interview the drivers. But sitting up here with the heat, you kind of, after a while, you realize, man, that's exhausting. The heat just gets you, and it wasn't even that bad yesterday. Like I've been out in a way hotter situation, but yesterday it was just exhausting.
Yeah, I think we definitely got used to the cooler weather for a little bit, and then jumping back up into the high 90s was definitely a little bit of a change, but yeah, we'll see how it affects today. I know everybody's definitely going to be gunning for it today, as it being the last weekend of racing for a little bit, so yeah, I think it'll be really good though.
I think it's good conditioning. Like if you want to be a racer anywhere in the world, come race in Arizona for a season, get acclimated, so that way when you go out to these other tracks, they realize how plush they got it. But anyhow, back to racing. We got Allie Easton out front, Jackson Witherow, business as usual, 1 and 2, these two. And they're out here. It is scheduled for 8 laps. And Allie Easton right now in control. And let's talk about your day of racing yesterday. I was so excited for you, but exciting to watch from over here. You literally got ran over yesterday. What happened?
Yeah, it was going really good until it wasn't. I think I was running 4th. I went into turn 3 here behind another car, and I think they were having some sort of problems because they kind of just dead stopped. Mid-corner, I had nowhere to go, so I tried to stop in time behind them, so I was stuck there for a minute. Another car comes flying around the corner. Monster trucks over me, which I can't say anything bad. We were right there.
No, I don't think
on
they
a
tried to
fast
do it.
track.
Yeah.
It's really hard to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a hard hit. My car is totally fine. I had a flat tire and a little bit going on with the brakes, but that was about it. So was really impressed with that for sustaining such a hard hit and not having anything really broken. Sadly, I will be sitting out of the race today. Yeah, I got a concussion yesterday just from that hard hit from the back, so not really worth risking the health over, when I'm out here doing it for fun. So I will be up here in the booth all day, announcing with you, having fun, watching races, so yeah.
Very good. So we got Mia Chapman up here for the day. Well, I knew you were okay because I know how the crew reacts when, the driver needs to get out there and get the driver out of the car and seek help. You were fine, and it was pretty gnarly to watch. The car, from this vantage point, I had a perfect spot. You checked up right there just past the K-rail. Another car was in front of you. There's another car behind you. And the RZR car went right up his tires. I thought he was going to land, but as he come down, he got up on your tires, went right up, hit you really hard. And then the car didn't move forward, so I knew either you were slightly injured, dazed, or whatever. I had actually put it on that you had broken an axle, so I'm just glad you're okay. And there you go. Race number 1 in the history books, Alexandra, I keep saying Alexandria, and it's not, it's Alexandra Easton. I just call her Allie. We love her. We're going to come up and talk with Allie and Jackson Witherow as they come here to Winter Circle. Sit tight. But other than that, I'm glad you're okay.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. It's racing. You have good days, you have bad days, but keep on going.
It's crazy when I watched you guys race the old days, we always call them, out here at Lucas. I never pictured you guys would get hurt. I never pictured it. But, now that we're older, or I'm older, maybe it's different. Maybe it's a different perspective from my point. And I got to tell you, you were on your edge of your seat watching your brother go to turn 1. Well, I was right here just glued to make sure you're okay. Once I realized you were okay and you were, nobody was in a hurry to get you out of the car, I knew you were good. So I announced it that way, and here you are. So I'm glad you're all right. Concussion's nothing to mess around with. So I'm not saying that like, oh, it's easy, but, I'm just glad.
Yeah, we can live with it. The safety gear definitely did its job, as it does with a lot of these racers out here that have pretty nasty crashes and, most of the time walk away okay or with minor things going on, and that's why we run, the things we do.
I'm just glad you're going. All right, let's talk with Allie Easton. I'll be right back.
make the last round interesting.
That's how it came down last year.
Yeah. And I got no problem with it.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, chick, nice drive.
Did you hear what she just said? The car felt slow.
Always fun watching.
Ali, you were running 112. You were running 114 yesterday. Oh, you ran a 111.
Well, all right, race number 1 now in the history books. We got the drivers here. We got Jake getting out of his car. We're going to talk with him in a second. And, man, business as usual. Starting it off good. Starting it Sunday off strong. And this is what we got. And Jackson Witherow out here as well. But we'll get started right here with Jake Hill. Well, Jake Hill, that's right, man. A great weekend of racing. Having to settle for third here. But, man, the heat out here, we've been talking about it. It starts off early. Is that a factor here for today's race?
Yeah, totally. Our motor was like overheating.
And that, indeed, we talk about it with hot for you, but we also forget about the car has to deal with this heat as well.
Yeah.
All right, very good. So third place, you got to be happy with your performance this weekend, though. Podiums all weekend long for you.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Let's talk about the people that make it happen for you.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, Zach, my sister, the Vales, Signature Repellers, Redline Oil, Exotic Alloys, CMI, Gates Belts, King Shocks, and Redline, and everyone else. Thank you.
Man, that's a long list. I would love to race for this team. Jake Hill, everybody, third place, started off great. But Jackson Witherow, man, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more podiums for you this weekend. We're not done yet, but you got to be happy. You guys, this is the way you race this class, so good for you guys.
Yep.
All right, so tickets from the race, what was it like for you out there?
Just driving. That's it, really. There's no connection of the car at all.
You're just out there, just get into the finish line.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, let's talk about the people that make your race program happen.
My mom, my dad, God for keeping me safe, Jimmy Extreme Machine Fabrication, Tyler for fixing my car this whole entire weekend, and that's it.
All right, well, Jackson Witherow, everybody, we're going to make sure. I know he's going to be up here on this podium, but this young lady simply on fire this weekend. You cannot be mad at your performance for this weekend.
No.
Not, as she said. That was no, okay? Great things this weekend, and I'm sure you guys are going to continue on. What's in store for next year?
I don't know.
Continue racing?
Yeah, I hope.
I mean, are you moving up a class? Do you want to see, where do you see yourself here in the future?
I don't know.
No? Yeah, what do you want to do? There you go. Listen to your dad on that one. What do you want to do? Where do you see yourself? You want to drive a faster car? SR1 maybe?
I kind of want to race a RS1.
There you go. The RS1 single-seater. They're very exciting, very fast. All right, perfect. Well, I won't put you on the spot anymore. Tell us who you want to say thank you to.
My mom and dad, Extreme Machine Fabrication, Dynajet, Hoosier Tires, Rob Muzzy, R&R Steel, Rugged Radios, Power Glass, AZ Networks, and anyone else I'm forgetting.
Well, I'll tell you what, she's been on fire all weekend long. Allie Easton, everybody, your winner of the 170 expert, Mia Chapman. We got more races coming up.
We have our 170 limited intermediate class coming up next.
Oh, man, you know, it's nice right now down here. The heat's starting to play a factor, but, man, in about an hour, I look at those stairs like a monster I have to climb. It's like every step is like nails on a chalkboard. Sit tight. More racing coming up next. don't know, you guys can't see it, but I have to walk up the grandstands every time getting back up here to race command. And it just, I tell Mia Chapman and the whole crew up here, it just shows you how out of shape I am. If I die of a heart attack today, I just want to let everybody know I had a great time in my life. I lived a wonderful life. Thank you. All right, deep breath, and let's meet the drivers here in row 123 is Kyler Mendoza. Great weekend of racing, being able to take advantage of his finish yesterday for finishing now for today's pole position. Blaine Proctor, incredible race weekend for him as well. Brianna Walton's been there all weekend, and that's why they're in the top 3. BJ Hawthorne with a great job here as well. Jace Wilson rounding up row 3 with Riley White.
In row number 4, we have the 831 of Hudson Doyle. Right next to them, the 99 of Brooks Hopkins. 5th row, the 471 of Charlie McKay. Next to him, the 307 of Leo Torres. And rounding out our last group, we have the 191 of Cassidy Walton and the 7-7 of Austin Furness.
Man, yesterday, I always try to predict in my head what's going to happen, how the race is going to unfold, and there, you look at the racers, and any one of these top 6 cars, actually anybody in this class, has the ability to get that car up on front or up at top of the box, and this is a great one. Kyler Mendoza, the race program this weekend has just been simply, for lack of a better term, just been perfect. I'm not saying it hasn't been perfect without trials and tribulations, but that's part of racing, is getting the car back, tuning it up, making some adjustments, and throwing it out here. And I have a feeling we're going to have a very good race in our hands today. I hear Casey Kane, race director, they're going to let him go around one more time. All right, so one more pace lap, and we'll get this race started, and gives us a little time to converse about it. But in this class, and any of these 170 classes, we touched on it briefly yesterday. This is a driver's class. These cars, even though they can be modified quite extensively, you still have to drive these cars. So it really boils down, when it's all done, all the prep work's done, all the tires are grooved, everything's right, it all boils down to the driver.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree. And this intermediate class is a good middle between, beginner and expert. So really, really talented field of drivers. We've got to see them kind of progress throughout the year, and everybody has been very consistent, getting better and better each race. So I'm wondering if we'll see any of them hop into the expert class next season.
Indeed, that's kind of the goal. I touched on it briefly yesterday. A little bit of racing that I've done in motocross. The worst thing that I did was stay in the beginner class too long, and that's just my opinion. I don't really know that this is trials and tribulations, but for me, I looked back and realized I stayed in the lower classes way too long. Like in motocross at the time, there were 4 classes, 3 before you became pro, and big difference between beginner and pro. And you don't really start to learn how to ride like a pro until you start racing with the pros. So I'm just saying, I think the worst thing to do in a racing career is to stay in a lower class. Get your time in, whether you're winning it or not. If you're confident with racing against a more skilled class, my recommendation, and this is just my recommendation, in other words, I'm sure everybody has an opinion about it, but my opinion is, man, get in that class. Start stepping the game up for that class.
Definitely, yeah. We've seen a lot of new drivers even come into the beginner class, so yeah, no, I'm really interested to see kind of who steps up and who moves out coming into next year, but it's always fun watching these kids. They put on such a great show, and as consistent as the field is, you never know how the race is going to turn out, who will have problems, who will not, so yeah, we'll get to see that here pretty soon.
That's a race all by itself too. We touched a little bit yesterday on desert racing, but both former racings, both short course and desert racing. Desert racing, you set the car up for endurance. As we know, that those cars will race anywhere from 8 to 20 hours long. So these cars have to survive. The driver, the whole team has to be on top of their game. But another race that they don't see is when these cars are torn apart, prepped, and you can't miss a bolt. You can't miss tightening not one bolt out here, because the race can be won or lost by a mistake in the garage. So That's another thing that I've learned. All right. Well, here we go. I do believe our Jones Jeep Ford TRX is going to be pulling off, and we're going green here this time around. There it is. We're going green. The green flag flies for our 170 limited intermediate, and all cars were clean with 12 cars in this field into turn 1. And that is right there where all the action happens. Turn 2, as we've talked about here, you got to see them abruptly turn to get back on that straightaway coming off the ski jump. And that is also a deciding factor how you negotiate turn 2. Can't clear my throat today for some reason. I have cough drops if you need. Yeah. Just sometimes you're easy on the throat. Well, back to racing. Out front, we're going to get the list of the lineup here. You guys should have an overlay that's coming on no matter when you're watching it and where you're watching it. If you're watching it today, we can 1 hour at a time on Instagram. Facebook is on. YouTube is on. Rumble is on. So choose your site. As the 213 now gets around the 23 car of Kyler Mendoza, and we've been talking about that as we see Kyler Mendoza lose power down the front straightaway. And that's going to bring out a local caution. There it is. And Kyler, back to running. So our safety crew going to have to turn around. It's got to be heartbreaking when you're out front like that, and next thing you know, the car loses power or whatever happens.
Oh, definitely. That's what we were just talking about. You never know what can happen, whether it's a driver's or mechanical mistake, but it's definitely heartbreaking when you're running up there in the front. He is one of the quickest kids out here in this class, so yeah, we'll see how far he can kind of make it back up and make that time up. But yeah, a little hard in these cars because they don't necessarily have the horsepower to, get them there right away.
He's going to have to drive like his life depended on it right now to get back up there to the front. But Blaine Proctor in the 213 was right there to pick up that tab. So Blaine Proctor, and you hear some of the spotters up here get into the 190 of Brianna Walton, and the 234 car will round off our top 3 of Jace Wilson. And now Blaine Proctor out there, the 213 car coming into turn 3, able to set his pace and take this field all the way to the checkered flag, barring no problems. It's kind of the thing that's been happening all week. The leaders, once they get out front, get that clean air, they're checking out from the rest of the pack. And that's been happening very consistently this weekend in almost all the classes.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree, especially with that how big of a gap that is between first and second. It's really hard to make up that time, especially when you got pressure from the rest of the field behind you. So yeah, quite a lot of factors that can play into it, but being out in the lead, getting clean air is definitely the best feeling, and it really helps. So we'll see if he can bring it home. I know he finished second place yesterday, so he's definitely quick out there.
That's fun to talk about, the feeling that it is to race, and we talked about it. As you said, you definitely want to have fun this weekend, but you don't want to push it. That's exactly that feeling we're talking about. That feeling that you look for, especially when you're out front. And like as Blaine Proctor is doing, setting the pace right now. At that point, especially in this particular setup, you can see Blaine almost with a full quarter track lead over the rest of the pack. And the real racing's going on for second and third place right now. But that emotion, that feeling, it fuels you or it hurts you. You know what I mean? It either helps or hurts. And sometimes, like, do you ever remember the first time you got out front first in your first race? For me, I will never forget it. Everything slowed down. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe there were 30 other riders behind me. and oh man, it's the reason why we race right there. So Blaine Proctor now letting the race happen behind him between Brianna Walton and Jace Wilson. And I do believe we got another car out there, the HMD car, the 234, Jace Wilson. And we've got a battle right there for second, third, and fourth. Almost a full front straightaway out front for Blaine Proctor. But now we see the number 190 car able to break away a little bit. Brianna Walton. And Brianna Walton now able to get a little bit closer, but I think she's going to have her hands full here with third place as you see them coming up side by side into turn 2. There it is. The 831 of Hudson Doyle. You can see, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna bet that's Mom right here. And she's excited. Hudson Doyle moves into second place. The Hudson Doyle crew out here in full force right here in front of us. Probably a family affair there. I called it as second place. Right here it is. Down the front straightaway. Hudson Doyle now in second place, getting around the 190 car. Brianna Walton. Brianna Walton, though, not going to let it go very easy. And Jace Wilson still has something to say about that position. So anyhow, it was exciting to watch you race. The car livery and everything they do at Red Bull and making that car, the Red Bull car, it stood out. I was able to look right out of the course and know exactly where you were at. It was really awesome. The car's stance, by the way, looks really good as well. Nice and low, nice and fat. You know, it just looked incredible. The car, the livery, the colors, everything. Your driving, it was incredible to watch you race yesterday.
Thank you. Yeah, the car was on the rails yesterday. I was talking about it yesterday, but it's been a while since I've been back to my typical short course racing like this, and so I didn't quite know, where I was going to place and end up, but yeah, my Weller Racing built car was on the rails. It was so solid. I had so much fun until that little mishap happened, and even after taking that big hit, we only had a flat tire, which is pretty impressive too. So yeah, I'm excited to come back out here and race some more. This is really fun for me, kind of getting back to my roots and having a car I'm really, really comfortable in and racing with, some of the most talented people out there. So yeah, it was a blast.
Well, I mean, it definitely looked good. You looked like you were fully back. Looked like you hadn't lost any of your form of racing. So I mean, if you would have said you'd just been racing straight through, it would have shown yesterday. You looked great, and even at one moment you were poised to take a position. You were not behind in any way. All the top drivers were right there around you, and you showed that you still have what it takes to run on a national level. And again, the livery on the car, the whole package of Mia Chapman yesterday was just on fire. So it was great to see you. I was very saddened when the car didn't start to move forward because I knew something happened. And man, I don't have the emotion of you at being the driver, but I have the emotion of sitting up here, and I was like, and then I even pictured, and I never go through what I'm gonna say. Everybody asks me, how do you think of things to say as an announcer? And I go, I don't know, it just kind of comes to me. So I didn't think or write anything down, but I do remember the feeling that I had up here that it's like, oh, and I was disappointed for you, and well, you and the whole crew, because that is so heartbreaking, and I gotta admit it, I had big expectations for you, and maybe expectations not the right word. I had high hopes for you. How about that?
Definitely.
It's just, everything's changed. You know, now you're a young lady and you're a professional racer, and it's different than what it was like watching you guys. You know, watching you and Riley and Connor and Luke, you know, all the names out there. So it's different watching you as Mia Chapman Pro. Like I said, part announcer and a lot of fan. Checkered flag flies for the 213 car, Blaine Proctor. And who do we have in second? I do believe, is that, what happened here? I think that's a lap driver. I do believe second place is going to be the 190 car, Brianna Walton. And again, this is unofficial because I was talking with Mia Chapman, and Hudson Doyle will round off the top three. But as I said, yesterday I was watching not only as an announcer, I was watching as a fan, and it was exciting that, I mean, there you are. It was cool, you know, because it's just cool.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, it's something these kids, you know, it's tough having a hard day when, you know, you have the capability and the car to get there. And you run up in the top with the fast guys, and, you know, some stuff happens that's out of your hands, and it's you know, you learn the lesson pretty young, like these kids do out here as well. But at the end of the day, it's racing. I still had a lot of fun. I can't stop saying it. I love my car, and I love how it runs and everything about it. So definitely going to have to come back out here, play some more, and, yeah, have some fun.
Well, it sure looked good. I mean, like I said, it actually is bringing a smile. Everything looked great. I mean, just the whole thing. And it was awesome to see you out there. So, all right, well, let's talk with these winners. We're going to talk with Blaine Proctor, the 213, Brianna Walton, and Hudson Doyle. Well, great emotions going on down here in the winner's circle, and great sportsmanship. Incredible. Good job. We're going to talk with these drivers. Hudson Doyle still getting out of the car. Blaine Proctor. And Hudson, well represented out here in the fans and family. Well, man, Hudson, a lot of stuff happening out there on that track. Lots of stuff to talk about. Tell me about your race out there.
It was good. Brianna put up a good battle.
It was really awesome to watch. We were up there. I was communicating with Mia Chapman up there, and it makes it for exciting to announce that as well. And you guys looked great. Lots of lead changes, and that second pack, you guys were just going crazy for that second place.
Yeah.
And you had it there for a little bit?
Yeah.
All right, very good. Let's talk about the people that make your race program happen.
My mom, dad, Phoenix Truck Driving School, H&H Jumpers, Valley Beverage, my sister Harper, she supports me. Prime Leaf, the Body Process, and anyone else I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Mark Queen.
Very good. Are you sure you got it there?
Yeah.
Hudson Doyle, everybody, third place. Hard-fought battle. It was great to watch. But man, you were right in the middle of that too, and you had your hands. She just did a big sigh. But Ned, take us there to that racing. What was it like from your steering wheel?
It was good, but my dad's radio died.
Oh no.
So
You were on your own.
yeah, like on like the third lap, and then I had to do like 7 more laps with by myself.
The lone wolf. You did it. And I mean, doing that by yourself. Then now thinking about that and not having clear marks, you just had to hit yours on yourself and basically drive it home, and you had no clue what was going on.
Yeah.
All right, well, very good. You did an awesome job, and it was, as I just told Hudson, it was awesome to announce. All right, let's talk about the people that make your race day happen.
TGR, GBC Tires, Go Fast Grills, Impact Sparkle, KB Engineering, my grandma, my uncle Trey, my mom, dad, my aunt Barbie, my uncle Ricky, Steve, Larry, and my family.
That is quite a list.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Brianna Walton doing a great job out here in second place. But the winner right now, Blaine Proctor. Man, you've been on this podium all weekend, man. It's like I'm gonna have to start charging you rent for this podium.
Yeah.
Well, great job out there. Did you have any idea what was going on behind you once you got the lead? Mendoza had to check out, and you got the lead, and you just checked out.
Yeah, at the start, he took off. I was trailing him. And then the second lap, as soon as we took the tabletop, I saw him. When he landed, he started to slow down, and I was right on his bumper, so I had to swerve out of the way. And that's when I took the lead, and I just took off. I had no clue what was happening because before I even got on the track, the radios weren't working, so I was by myself. I could only hear my dad a couple of times.
Well, we're gonna call this the day of the lone wolf. You two did a great job without a radio.
Yeah.
All right, well, perfect. Congratulations, man. First place, got to feel great.
Yeah.
All right, let's say thank you to the people you want to say thank you to.
Reaper Apparel, PCR, Withrow Construction, Extreme Machine, my dad for trying to spot, and then all my supporters and my family for helping me, and yeah.
All right, and yeah, Blaine Proctor, everybody, your winner. Did you forget somebody?
And you guys for making this happen.
Oh, dude, we are very fortunate for having you out here, all you guys. These are your winners of the 170 Limited Intermediate class. Congratulations to Blaine Proctor. Mia Chapman, we got more racing coming up.
We have our 170 Limited Beginner class coming up next.
And instead of coming here and saying, oh, well, that's a silly rule. Like, what does it matter about the window nets? What does it matter about the fuel cell? What does it matter? Instead of being mad that that's what we have for tech, you should be glad that those rules are put in place because they're there for your safety. So get that car as safe as you can. Come out here, make sure, follow the tech. You can find out all the tech specifications on the website. If you don't have them on the website, feel free to contact anybody at Core through the website, and they will send you the technical specifications that your car needs to meet to come out here and come racing. And as we saw yesterday, there was an actual full-blown desert car out here. They literally just took the spare tires off, and the spare tire bumper was sticking out still another 3 feet. But man, it's literally a run what you brung. Come out here and race with Core.
Yeah, no, I definitely couldn't agree more. And like I said, there's so many class choices you can really choose from. The beginner and the amateur classes, there's not pressure. You know, you go out there, drive your race, do how you do without having to maybe jump into the pro class and deal with, you know, all the craziness that comes with that. So yeah, that's one thing I really like about Core is all the variety of the race classes that you can come here and race.
Man, that's a very valid point again. A little bit of excitement going on right here in Race Command. One of the window race nets is not fully latched. I'm wondering if one of the safety crew, if we hold up the pack, if you will, we'll stack them really quick. Somebody run out there and make sure that window net. Great job here by the crew here at Core. Casey Kane doing a great job keeping our kids safe. We were just talking about that. The reason why these window nets. Now, another thing you see the window nets for, a lot of people don't know why we run the window nets. Can you explain to the people out there what the window nets are for?
Yeah, I think for a bunch of different reasons, but the main one is, you know, if you wreck or wreck into something, it keeps, you know, especially, you know, new kids starting out, your instinct when you wreck is to put your hands out, right? So the window nets keep the kids and whoever it is, their hands in the vehicle as safe as possible, and just to keep things from potentially coming in the driver's side when they crash or get into it with somebody too.
That's a very important thing that I think a lot of people overlook. The window nets are there primarily to keep your hands inside the vehicle during a roller for sure. And that is definitely a natural reaction as the car is rolling or taking any kind of impact. You want to put your hand up to catch yourself. But as a byproduct, that is 100%. There are a lot of rocks, a lot of boulders, a lot of mud out there, and if you have the right window net, that can keep a lot of it out of your lap and keep all that debris out there. Because as you know, if you're following the leader or anybody in front of you, that car is roosty. So you turn sideways and they're straight, you're getting a face full of mud, and that window net there can you know, and it depends. Do you like the net style, the ones with the woven belts, or do you like the ones that are the small holes? Which ones do you prefer?
I prefer both. I don't really have a preference. I think they both definitely do their job there.
I mean, they do their job. I think I'm switching though. I think the small holes offer better vision. You know what I mean? And like I said, I feel I'm switching. So, but we'll have to see how it goes. Window net's back up, and we're racing, and they're bumping going into turn one already. We've got a race early, and all cars through turn one safely and cleanly. And we didn't meet these people. Let's meet the 170 limited beginners. Up in the front row with Dylan Lemos, with Cooper Hoganis right next to him. Carly Morapis in the second row with Mason Bulgarian rounding off the second row. Murphy McKay and Austin Fumas will be your top three rows of drivers. The consensus on the internet comments yesterday, and I was just going to comment on it. You can see it right there on the live track feed, how incredible the drone work was yesterday. Brian and Tyler, they just flew their butts off yesterday. Everything worked out perfect, and that's where you heard me say I'm very proud of everything we do for the live track feed. I mean, Brian he's got to be one of the most. And I hope he's listening, but he's flying right now, so it's kind of. But man, he's got to be. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, he's the best drone pilot I've ever seen. He's the best one I know. So.
I would definitely agree. It's really nice having all the different angles right on the racetrack that obviously the viewers can see when they're watching, and we can go back and rewatch it and see all the crash clips and the podium clips and all of that on the track.
You know what's crazy is there was, I don't remember what movie it was, but it had a sport, and the thing was the cameras flew. You know, so the camera angles were really impressive. They were impressive even in the movie, using conventional cameras to emulate what it would be like with the drones. But now here we are in 2024, and we literally have flying high definition cameras. It's crazy. That radio back. I mean, you can see as we're looking live on the track feed right now, and there it is, Brian. We have 2 drones out here. We have the overhead hovering drone that moves back and forth as the racers do, and then we have the local drone right there that you see with great footage coming through there. So give me a second, I'm gonna go make a sound adjustment.
At Verizon, every phone can be the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. Wow, phones are going to be flying to Verizon.
At Verizon, new and existing customers can get iPhone 16 Pro and a new iPad, all on us. Only on Verizon.
222. Yeah, I think that's going to work a little better. Absolutely. Took the highs out, gave us a little more presence. And we could turn up our monitor here a little bit here. Making some sound changes. You know, that's kind of the thing. We get everything perfect on Sunday. You know, Saturday we come here, we're all in a tissy, and then we get it all going Sunday. It's the chill day. All right, Mia Chapman, who's out front? We got Dylan Lamosas out in the 188 car, leading this field with Cooper Hoganus. You know, I could say Hoganus 100 times. Hoganus. Look down at the paperwork, and I want to say Hodgenus so bad. But that's what I used to say. It's Hodgenus, but it's Hoganus. The G is enunciated. Hoganus.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think our front 2 runners have been running a very consistent and solid race so far. Yeah, it's been really cool to watch them, and the whole front of the field is so tightly packed together. I'm just waiting for one of them to make a move, and maybe we'll see a position change, but they're keeping it very clean, an awesome race so far.
I have to agree with you on that. Makes it very visually spectacular for the race fans and for the racers. You know, I know we've talked about it all weekend long that the leaders have checked out from the rest of the pack, but it's always great to when the top 3, top 4 guys are just dicing it up and lots of lead changes, because that's what you talk about. You don't go home and say, "What a great race this guy got out front and checked out." I mean, you still want your fan, your race favorite to win. But what you go home and talk about is how many lead changes there were, how much bumping was going on, how much. Like yesterday, Jason Weller posted that picture of Connor Maxwell rolling behind him. But did you see how hungry Connor Maxwell was? He wanted to pass Jason Weller so bad. He put a wheel in probably 10 times during that race, and that's what we loved about that race. here we go back to racing live. Dylan Lamosas way out front. And Cooper Hoganus. By the way, the Hoganus brothers, a whole Hoganus clan for the party. I was rocking a mullet last night. I had on a hat, a mullet, and I was doing that one. And then the Hoganus show up with their real mullets, just pushed me right off my little stage. That's what I should have said. I said, I'm a Hoganus. I'm one of the Hoganus brothers. Hey, what costume are you? I'm a Hoganus. And they got the real deal. But Carla Warapius, a little sign out there. And I do believe that was the Warapius car. I'm not sure. Let's see here as they come by. Dylan Lamosas, our leader, rather. With 2 laps remaining. Let's see now who's in second place as they cross the line. Cooper Hogan is still out in second. All right, there's Cooper. And now the wide 302 car. There's 2 302s out there. There's a 1 302 of Braden Lucas. And the other 302 is Carly Warapius. So there's the 1302 car of Braden Lucas. So that is Carly Warapius. Little off-track excursion there by the 77 car. And I do believe the 77 of Austin Pumas was the one that came around there in turn 4. White flag flies. Our own leader, Dylan Lamosas, getting around some lap traffic there. And that's part of racing, dealing with the lap traffic. And that can either hurt you or help you. Have you ever had to leverage a lapped rider to maintain a position?
Yeah, I think every driver goes through it in every class, really. Whether they're having problems or whatever it may be, it can definitely be hard to get around them and really throw off the top 3 of the field as they're trying to get around the lapped car. But I think that's a big thing why we have spotters out here to communicate to their drivers, to tell them the leaders are coming around and to hold your line. But that's not always the case, and it can make it pretty dicey.
Man, have you had one frustrate you and hold you up to get back into the battle?
I'm sure at some point. I've been doing it for so long, there's so much to remember. But yeah, I think it's all part of the process, really. So
I have to agree, and that's always a great conversation piece. Well, here we go. Checkered flag will be coming out this time around for Dylan Lamosas with a great race out there. And Dylan, our number 1 qualifier from yesterday, in the 188 car, Dylan Lamosas. Checkered flag's got to feel pretty good, and we're going to unofficially give you the results. I do believe the 823 is a lap rider, but we'll also take the checkered flag. And unofficially second place, I do believe 102 also Wild Bulgarian lapped rider, and once again unofficially second place Cooper Hogan is right there. And wow, and that is the 302 car of Carly Warapius. I think it's, I couldn't, where's your pin? I think, well, actually, 1, 2, 3. I don't want to tear. I don't want to tear this one though. Are these done? I guess they're done, right? All right. Boom, boom, boom. Sure. All right. Unofficially, I'm gonna go for it. If I get in trouble, I'll do it. I'll take good trouble. Dylan Lamosa's out front with Cooper Hoganus and Carly Warapius in 1, 2, 3. That is unofficial, but that's what we see on the overlay here. And that's what we got on our sheets. This is the sheets we work for. Look at that. You guys can see it. Boom, boom, boom. Same place. 1, 2, and 3. Same as yesterday. And still a great race, though. And I do believe the number 99 car, as you pointed out, is Brooks Hopkins. But we'll work it out. I know the people at Cora have it right. We're just the mouth. So if I announce it wrong or say it wrong, that's just from our perspective. And trust me, I've learned to say that because, you know, I tried to figure out for the first few years of being an announcer is how I keep saying things wrong. But I realized it's just my perception. And then I've actually had racers come up to me screaming at me, "You said I was first." And I'm like, yeah, but who am I? I'm just the guy that's babbling on the microphone. And however, things here at Core, as you see, we have our slips pretty much without incident here at Core. And like I said, and I have learned how to say from my perspective, unofficially. So, all right, we're going to talk with the winners. Stick around. All right, I've got some people on my podium, so let's start right here. Carly Warapius. I got it down. Hey, is that cool? I got the name right.
Yeah.
You know, you guys taught me how to say that, right?
We did?
Yeah. Well, I had to learn how to say it correctly. A lot of names that are crazy. All right, but let's not talk names. Let's talk racing. That was quite a race out there. The leader just checked out, and you left the race here with you guys.
Wait, what?
The race was with you guys. How did that feel? What was it like from your seat?
Fun.
It was fun?
Yeah.
Did you at any point feel edgy where you were like anxious and you really got to get out there after the lead?
No, not really.
Just kind of drove your race.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, sometimes that happens. Calm, cool, and collected. Get it done.
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, you got your phone out. Let's talk about the people that make your race program happen. I'll let you open it up. Man, high tech. You know, I didn't have this stuff when I was racing. All right. Let's hear that list.
FSP Fab, GBC Tires, AVI Wraps, Havoc, All Terrain Concepts, Go Fast Girls, and Rugged Radios.
That's a great sponsor list. They helped you out good out there, didn't it?
Yeah.
All right, Carly Warapius, everybody, great job at third place. Let's keep going. Cooper Hoganus. And, man, last night we had a lot of fun. I was sporting the mullet. You know what I should have said? I should have said I'm a Hoganist now. But you guys came out full force. But, man, great job out here for second place for today. It's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
How was it from your seat? Talk us about the race. Tell us about the race.
It felt good.
It just felt good? Yeah. Nothing else? Nothing like the car was hooked up running on rails and the car was quick in the corners, anything?
Well, when I was coming in corners, my car started bogging down, and then when I got out the gas, I got back in it, and then it went fine.
Well, there we go. That's the kind of story I love to hear right there. You got it. Had a little bit of a challenge there in the beginning. You got it done here to second place, even with the challenge. That's a good driver.
Yep.
All right, very good. Let's talk about the people you want to say thank you to.
2X Motorsports, my mom, my dad, 518, Chad, Jake, Uncle Kenny, and that's it.
All right, great job out there. And one more. That's all right. It's your mic.
And my older brother wants me to say, "Let's go Trump 2024."
Hey, you know what? If you got the mic, it's your time to say it. But man, been on fire all weekend. I love it when the weekend goes great because then you sit back this week and you reflect on it. You're going to be in school this week going, man, this weekend of racing. But you're going to wish you were still here. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, talk to us about your race. What was it like being out there, or did you just set it on cruise control? Tell us about it.
It was really good.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is a great class, and you got some great competition up here, and you came out on top.
Yeah.
All right. Who do you want to say thank you to?
I want to say thank you to my dad, my brother, my big brother, and my mom.
All right, very good. Short and sweet. He wants the list done like that. Dylan Lamosas, everybody, these are your winners of the limited beginner class. Get up there and hold those trophies. Do whatever you want to do. That is your podium, kids. And smile big for that picture. Not up there. All right, well, you know, we'll get it down. Well, all right. What a great podium that was out there. Dylan Lamosas, very excited to win that race. But coming up next, the 170 Modifieds. This is going to feature Crew Hart on row number 1 with Ali Easton once again making a showing here in this race. Jake Hill once again. Samuel Gibbs. I should have known Samuel's coming out by the TGR shirts here right in front of me. Luke Torres in the 199 car, one of my favorite cars in off-road racing. I just love the look of that car. Ryder Forrester, Jackson Cotter, Bryce Reimer will be out there rounding off row number 4. And row 5, Luke Vale and Charlie McKay. Tell everyone, that's another thing I've learned as an announcer. Hey guys, I'm gonna put your name, my apologies, I'll get it right. Something. Tell us. Yeah. The reason I got a started that? All right. Small talk up here. If you guys are watching live, you guys will be able to see it. I'm going to switch here to the. Our Instagram is kind of one of the harder ones to do here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Facebook. So if you guys have some questions for me on Facebook, let's see. It's always hard for me to get back on Facebook because it refreshes and takes me off the page. So, but that's okay. Where is that live feed? That's a live action. We go to photos about. Well, isn't this interesting? Oh, there it is. Just now popped up, right? 152, we got it. I would think about it. I'm going to go. I know. That's right. Come on over here. We're trying to find the live track feed. You want to interview her? While I find that? You want to? Oh, absolutely. All right. As Mia Chapman pointed out to me, I'm going to get on the website. I've been telling you guys how to do it. We're going green this time around, so let's find out. Okay, so go to our website. Click on. I'm going to click on the Facebook one. Oh, see, and that takes you to a whole nother page. Well, the green flag is flying, and we are racing, and we got a race on our hands. Who's out front? We're going to determine that. Crew Heart. Looks like the Crew Heart colors out front.
Quite a bit of contact in that second corner. It collected quite a bit of cars, and they're still tangled up right here. That is the tough part with corner 2 being so tight, and you go in there with 3 cars wide, something's bound to happen, but hopefully we can get them untangled here soon and back to racing.
Well, there's a great job by the core crew getting those 2 cars unstuck. You can see by that bumper, indeed, the bumper on the car that was up front, it's actually a hook. If you get hooked on there, that's not actually a good design. I would definitely change that design. A little bit of a fabricator myself. I would definitely put 2 tubes on the bottom, so that way the bumper. And in fact, now that I look at them, they're all like little hooks on the back. I would not be running that design. No way. And in fact, if that's a technical thing that you got to run here, a core, that needs to change. They're all like that. That does not work. I know I work for Core, and I love Core, but man, we got to talk about that. That's just like one big hook waiting for that bumper to come get it.
Just depends how they're designed, like the bumpers of everybody.
I mean, shoot, man, you should have seen my desert truck. The way that I designed the rear bumper, just in case you came up behind me, I did everything I could to avoid that. And actually, if you hit me, you lifted my truck up instead of squatted it down. I think there should be one right there. Is there one back there behind the table? No? All right, back to racing. Crew Hart and the 136 car. Well, check to see the overlay that you guys can see on the live track feed. There it is, the 136 and 190 of Allie Easton right on his tail. And Allie Easton enjoying a great weekend of racing, pretty much error and trouble-free. And now she's been on top of the box a couple times, but at this point, she's got to chase down Crew Hart in the 136 in this 170 modified race. The speeds are starting to pick up as we keep going through the day. Getting a little faster out there, Mia Chapman.
Definitely, yeah. I think our top two always put on some of the best battles out here. They never tend to go far from each other unless something catastrophic happens. So you really never know which way it's going to go until we come towards the end of the race and see who's still in the lead.
What's crazy is this is a repeat of the things that happened, here 10 years ago when, like, we went through the list. Luke Knupp, Connor McMullen, Mia Chapman. Who else? Your brother was out there. And, when you guys went out there, it was a little different than this. Connor was always fast, and as we know, always had great equipment. But man, every single one of you excelled in a certain area of the track. Like, one was great at jumping, one was great at passing. Connor was always fast down the back straightaway. Luke Knupp, the nickname was the Golden Boy, and as we know, he was pretty much good everywhere. So I just realized somebody took out our speaker over there, and now it's firing into the track. So when I run down there, I'm going to have to fix that speaker. I'm going to forget, too. I'm going to run down there and forget that I needed to do that. That means one of the drivers must have got a little overzealous and bumped it. But that is all right. We got 3 more. And speaking of 3 more, just 3 more laps. This race is scheduled for 8 laps, and they're doing the shorter course. That was weird. I was going to say the short course, but this is a short course. The shorter course out here. But Crew Hart pretty much led this from wire to wire, and he's going to enjoy this clean air all the way to the podium. I just looked over and realized every single drink I have up here has caffeine in it. I'm going to be bouncing off the walls here in a second. Mia Chapman, you going to be okay keeping me in check? So Allie Easton in second place with Samuel Gibbs, unofficially 1, 2, 3.
He's one of those that have been on our mics, quite a lot throughout the season. To see him progress up through the class, and it's been awesome to watch. It seems like he gets more and more comfortable each race. He's always pushing the limits, trying to find, just how far he can push the car and his capabilities. So yeah, it's definitely awesome to see him out there running 3rd.
That is exactly a prime example of what we were just talking about, is these racers progressing, and Samuel Gibbs, no stranger to that progression. You hear Samuel Gibbs when he gets on the podium. He always says things to Uncle Trey, and as you know, Trey Gibbs, another one of the star prodigies of your era. That was your generation, and Trey Gibbs come out here and man, we talked about everybody's strong point. Did Trey not always have the fastest? If you drag race the car, man, his car was hard to beat.
Yeah, one of them for sure.
Well, I do believe the leaders have 2 laps to go. That means one more time around, and they're going to take the white flag. Right. Absolutely. Well, Allie Easton doing a great job out there, securing second place on the podium. She's been on the podium all weekend. Every race she's entered, she's got on the podium.
Yeah, and I gotta say, just watching the races over here as we're getting, more into towards the end of the course season, a lot of the times we'll see, the kids that are 1, 2, and 3 in the championship points. Sometimes, they need to finish a certain place every race, right, to get the points to maintain or step up into a position. And a lot of times we'll see them, if they're in a top spot and they're comfortable where they are, and the points will set them good after the fact, they won't push as hard. They're comfortable in whatever position they are to get the points that they need to secure that championship. So I think that's something we'll see a lot of out here, specifically with this round and the next round of, people playing it a little more safe to secure those championship places.
I mean, that's what it's the overall battle. I mean, it's great to win the, what do they say? You win the war, but you got to win the battle, and that's the thing. The championship is the battle, and we touched on it yesterday when we discussed there's a lot of components to that championship. The car's got to be there to finish. The team's got to do great. Checkered flag flies for Crew Hart. And look at that drone work, literally 2 feet from the roof of that car. But absolutely, you have to be on top of things to be there at the end of the season. And that championship, it's great to go down there and take that trophy, 3rd place, 2nd place, and of course 1st place. But it's grand to be there at the awards banquet, dressed up, your family's there, and you get to say thank you for the entire season and making it happen and holding that championship plate. I mean, there are seasoned veterans, Jeremy McGrath, Ricky Carmichael, Bubba Stewart, and they say there's nothing like winning a championship. That's the real payoff.
Absolutely.
Well, man, oh man, a championship up for grabs in all these classes that are up here, and we're going to talk with Crew Hart, Allie Easton, or did Sam Gibbs get around it? All right, looks like Sam Gibbs. I'm gonna go get my printout from Marnie Jones, and I'll make sure, because it looks like by our overlay, Samuel Gibbs worked up to 2nd. Right, another great podium out here. I'm going to walk up here with these fellas. And I see already Jackson Withrow up here again. You know how they have freeways and buildings and airports, like Withrow Airport. We're going to name this the Withrow Podium. What would you say about that?
I would like that.
Well, I mean, you're every race day weekend. If I see you, I know you're going to be on my podium. All right, well, great job. I love that smile. Very infectious. All right, well, let's talk about this race. It's a little bit different. You had your hands full.
I started all the way from last and got to third.
Jeez. How's that feel?
I didn't know I was going to get up there, but...
Well, see, that's where that never give up attitude out here at racing. Get in that car, drive it, just drive the wheels off it all the way to the end.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Well, let's hear one more time about the long list of people that help you out at Withrow Racing.
My mom and my dad, God for keeping me safe. Jimmy and Extreme Machine Fabrication. Jaden for giving me the Hoosier tires. And Tyler for helping me prep my car.
All right. Very good. I'm sure we got one more race coming out of you today.
Yep.
You going to make up another podium?
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you then. You guys make some noise out there, Jackson Withrow. No stranger. But Mr. Gibbs, man, what a race that was. I mean, you were all over it, and you were there to pick up the tab there for second place, and that's got to feel good. Just like Jackson, you were putting it down the whole race.
Yeah. I was not expecting Allie to break.
She's rock solid, and I might have jinxed her a little bit on the microphone talking about it. That it's 1, 2, 3 with you guys, and that's the way it was days as we were talking with. We know it's going to be a race to the end.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about the people that make your race happen.
My Uncle Trey, TGR, Steve, my dad, Uncle Randy, KB Engineering, and everybody who I forgot.
Do you know I used to interview your Uncle Trey just like I'm doing you right now?
Yeah.
I saw him down in Baja, and it was incredible. I'm glad he still recognized me. He's like a big, famous trophy truck driver now.
Yeah.
All right, well, very good. Congratulations to you. And you have one more race for the weekend?
No.
That's it?
Yeah.
You had a good weekend?
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations for second place. Yes, Samuel gives everybody. But our winner right now, Crew Hart, man, just kind of, again, cruise control out there, got it done, and here you're on top of the box. It's got to feel pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, what was the race?
I just wanted to push hard and keep my lines. Even though my dad was telling me different lines, I just didn't listen to some of them because...
Hey, at least he's honest, you know what I mean?
Because some of the lines would have made me scrub a lot of speed, so I just ran my lines.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to tell Dad at the end of the race, Dad, I did it, I tried it, and man, it was scrubbing. I was faster if I just took the other line. Sometimes that happens, and the reality is, when it comes down to it, you're the guy in between that seat and the steering wheel. You got to get it right where you got it, and it looks like it paid off.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Congratulations, and let's hear the people that make your race program happen.
My mom, my dad, Hoosier Tires, Extreme Dreams, Hard Motorsports, Dylan from Shields Racing, and anyone else and God, and Core for this amazing show, and anybody else I'm forgetting. Thank you.
Well, I don't think you forgot anybody. That's quite a list, and thank you from Core. You guys are awesome, and we love having you racers here for us. Mia Chapman, you have a special guest up there.
We do. We have Miss Jennifer Owens here with us. She used to run back here in the 170 and the 570 class. Now she's transitioned into micro sprints, correct? Yeah, so we're going to talk to her a little bit, get her opinion on, running that new stuff, and yeah, really just catch up.
Two, check two. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Choo, choo. All right, this one's working. And I'm still hearing that crackle out here. All right. All right, very good. Well, I'm sitting here getting some things here at Race Command. I'm going to let you know what we got coming up next. The 250 Open Race. Landon Morrow out there in the front row, our pole position, and Connor Power in second place. Luke Torres, Maggie Flores, Declan Shields, and Ryder Forrester will round off this 6-car field. But up here with me, Jennifer Owens, come over here and sit down. We've been talking. You saw Mia Chapman come sit down right here. Whoa, what happened there? I thought you were tripping. I thought you were falling. But here, hold this microphone, hold it up to your mouth, and man, look at this. I swear, I love the kids. I love you guys. I got to interview you quite a bit, and didn't even recognize you. You're a young lady now. Like sometimes you guys change so much, but not really. You still look like you now that I realize who you are and what you are. But man, yesterday I celebrated my 55th birthday, and it just makes me seem
Happy
so
birthday.
old. You said you're 15 now.
It's not that old.
All right, well, let's talk about it. What are you doing now? Are you still racing? What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm actually doing a bunch of circle track racing, so micro sprints, all of that good stuff.
Wow. You've done a lot of this racing as well. In fact, in this class, what do you find tougher, off-road racing or is that sprint racing? Is that some serious deal?
I definitely think micro racing is a little more difficult just because, I mean, you're running 12-second lap times, so you really don't have that much time to think about what to do for the next corner. It's kind of just like go and trust that the car is going to hold you, but it's way more intense. But I do miss the off-road side a little bit. That inner child in me is definitely wanting to come back.
I think that's like exactly that. You can take the child out off-road racing, but you can't take the off-road racing out of the child or anything. Off-road racing is definitely, and in my opinion, and these are just my opinions, but off-road racing is we have the best community, I think, and it's very broad. And, a lot of racers that have branched off into other forms of racing, they started off racing dirt bikes or short course racing or something like that. And, you brought it up, roundy round racing, you boys and girls are inches from each other, sideways in a corner, on the gas. You have to trust that competitor next to you is going to take that line and stay and hold that line, or that could be curtains for you.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you look at, I think you remember David Gasper. I mean, there's so many off-road guys that went that route to the micro stuff, and they're doing good. And I think a lot of that is because they did the off-road side, so they have more knowledge on corners and just everything around that, and racing, in general, and just being around cars. I think that definitely helps you progress in other types of racing.
I have to agree. I mean, the braking, acceleration, the car setup in a corner it's pretty much synonymous. We're going to take the green flag here in a second, but I still want to talk to you. Is there any local races that you do it at that I could come watch you or be part of? I'd love to come watch you race.
Yeah, so at Adobe Mountain Speedway, we race about every 2 weeks, so it's super fun.
That's a rigorous schedule. Every 2 weeks?
Yep.
Is there a lot of, do you have to prep the car just as much as the off-road car?
It's a little easier to prep, but I mean, you do still have to, but it's way easier. I mean, you roll in at 2 o'clock and you're done by 9 and home by 11, so, but yeah. Man,
that is it. All right, green flag flying for this. That's great, but man, Jen, we're going to talk with you. If you come up here, I am definitely going to come watch. I might just surprise you and show up one of these nights because I find that beautiful. I love all forms of racing. It doesn't matter. I'll watch RC car racing. I don't care. To me, racing is racing. And have you ever done that? Raced RC cars? It's not driving, but there's a skill to that. I'm telling you right now. And you got to set the car up. You got to use the right shock coil. You got to use the right springs, the right tires. It's all the same. It's all the same. All right, back to racing. Did Marty steal my sheets or do we got it? Where did we go? There it is. Marty steals everything. No, I'm kidding. All right. I don't know if I would ever said that either. All right. Landon Morrow on the pole. Let's see who we got coming around the finish line on the first lap. Indeed, it's the Y250 of Landon Morrow way out front at the 258 of Declan Shields, making his way through the pack and already up to second place. Our leader, no, that's Declan Shields rather, sliding out in turn 2, and that's what we've been talking about, turn 2. All day in the shorter route on this course, you have to really take that part of it. And another driver is struggling with the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, I got to add in, I've at least seen quite a few drivers struggling just a little bit with that turn. I wonder if it's starting to get a little more slick down there. This track does tend to get pretty blue grooved throughout the weekend, the more races that are on. So yeah, I'd be interested to see how that area kind of is.
I mean, you got to kind of flick the car into it because you're carrying speed out of turn 1 down the back straightaway. Set it up with a swoop. Make sure you apex the corner right. But then when you're in that corner, line selection is extremely important. Do you whip the corner or do you stay in your apex? I mean, from up here, it's easy to talk about, but down there on the course, I'll bet you that's almost a blind corner. You have to make sure your setup into that corner is almost perfect, and you got to hit the marks perfect, as we'll see once again as they come through. Way slow that time around. And you can see Luke Torres going for it. And Luke Torres a little bit of sideways there. And that scrubbing speed probably lost a full second right there.
Definitely. It does make it tough, too. As the track gets slicker, you have to open up your lanes a little bit more just to put that outside tire in the fluff where the dirt is a little more grippy. It'll help you turn a little more, set the car. So you lose a little bit of time, but I think you make it up just because you're not sliding through the corner as much.
And that's key too. If you have a part of the course that is giving you a problem, let it be that problem, but pick it up everywhere else that you know how to do on the course. Obviously down the straightaways, it's a drag race. You're just mashing the pedal all the way down, and at that point you're at the mercy of the car and the tune on the engine. But the way that you approach the corners, how tight you take it, how loose you take it, how wide you take it, your exit. You heard the drivers and the kid drivers yesterday on the podium tell me, I think he's a little hotter into the corner and I'm a little hotter out of the corner, and that's great to hear a young man or a young lady out here racing tell me those things, and even being aware of that will make you drive a lot better out here in the car. And even as Jen was saying with flat tracking, there are so many options. It may look like a round track, but there are so many options that you have going into those corners. You take it deep, you take it tight, or you take it, and again, I'm not a round racer, but in motocross, the inside line is always the fastest, no matter what. And again, in my humble opinion. Well, all right. No opinion necessary out here for the man out front, Landon Morrow. And you can see the great drone work once again. Brian just right there on the roof. Why doesn't he just land it on the roof? Torres slowing down the front straightaway. That's going to bring out the yellow flag, but I think he's going to be fine just right there. I think the crew will have no problem letting the racers by and being able to get Luke Torres out of the way. And that's that car I've been telling you about. I just love the balance. Everything in that car. If you look at artwork, the things you look at artwork are colors, symmetry, and how everything fits together. And to me, that car has that symmetry. It has everything. The colors are right. The stance is right. The tires are right. The cage is right. I just love that little car.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of a heartbreaker. Luke Torres has definitely been one of the top 3 runners throughout the season, so not quite too sure what's going on there. Hopefully they can possibly get it fixed back up and finish the race, but we'll have to see.
Well, it's going to look like they're going to completely push him off the course. That car not refiring, and indeed, they're pushing him off the course. That's a heartbreaker, maybe a broken chain. This is the thing about this class. The final drive in these cars is nothing more or less than a motorcycle chain. And these chains, they're put through a lot of force as they land, as they go into the corners, and as they accelerate. It's, again, not like a dirt bike. And your race can be over right there as a chain breaks, and that is a heartbreaker.
Definitely, yeah. And with this being more of a high-speed track, they're definitely carrying the speeds down the front straightaways into the corners, so it can definitely put a lot of stress on those cars and those chains.
Full momentum in these cars. It wouldn't surprise me at all if these cars, they don't even touch the brakes. Like, they only touch the brakes in need of to slow up in a corner. But I'll bet you you could take the whole course out there and do nothing but throttle work. I'd be willing to bet you in this. And in fact, you'd want to keep the throttle spooled up, I would think. I've never got to drive one of these cars, but I'm just thinking, I remember back in the old days when we had centrifugal clutches, unlike the belts of some of the cars. I think your car has a belt too, is that right? But a centrifugal clutch was literally weights that as you accelerate, they would start to grip on a bell crank that would start to turn the chain. So it literally was dependent on how fast it spun. So what we learned how to do was to brake but keep the engine gripping at its maximum point on the clutch.
Yeah, a lot of drivers, including myself actually, we call it shell braking. And just like you explained, that's what it is, and it helps keep that engine spooled up and the momentum up, and you're just slowing down the car a little bit and then right back to the gas, but in a more controlled manner. It is one of the more trickier things, I feel like, to kind of get the hang of and do it right to be fast with doing it, but once you do get the hang of it, I think it can definitely be a game changer.
Well, oddly enough, racing stock trucks, in the beginning I raced with a manual transmission. And I used to race a world-class T5 transmission behind a 300 horsepower four-cylinder engine, and that was a blast. You got to shift it, but man, you really got to drive that car, and clutch work is imperative. And sometimes it's not a sequential transmission; it's a regular transmission that you'd find in a car. So you have to, if you don't know how to do it, you have to use the clutch to shift. But I got to where I knew what RPMs were, and I knew that I could keep my foot on the brake and I could double foot it, and I could slam it into the next gear without having to push in the clutch. Now, where that transfers is the same thing with an automatic transmission. Double foot it, you got a lot of double footing, and all the big trophy truck guys, if you ever get a chance, you can look at they'll put a camera on the pedal, and they will double foot it and keep the brake and still put that 900 horsepower on the pipe. So I didn't mean to get out of the racing, so let's get back to it. But yes, that is something that is very imperative for racing. Landon Morrow unofficially out front, and let's see here. Oh, Declan Shields.
I think we missed
a
leader
everything
pass.
of that conversation. We're trying to fill time up here, and look at this. We lost the whole race.
You know, I was watching out for that. This is such a close race between these drivers, especially the top three. They're battling back and forth the entire time, and it looks like Declan Shields found his way around Landon Morrow.
All right, that's a great turnout for Declan, and Declan's been on the podium all weekend long. So, and looks like our third place car is going to have to be pushed to the podium. Have you ever had that happen? You ever had to be pushed to the podium?
I don't think so, no. But I mean, the only thing that matters is getting across the finish line. So after that, whatever happens, it is what it is.
Let the car burn. I don't care. Not really. I'm just saying for a joke, everybody. Dad, settle down. Yeah. Yes, I do. Thank you. In fact, we'll have to go down.
I just did that so we didn't say it over the mic.
Yeah, I wouldn't have said it. But I am going to talk about it on the podium. You had to come all the way from that. Yeah. As far as I know. All right, there's the Jones Pace Truck. Did you see our new TRX? That thing's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
You aspire to drive a big off-road truck like that?
Not really, but.
No? Oh, I'm just going to tell you, if you ever get a chance to drive a pre-runner or a big truck like that, you need to do it. It'll change your life, I promise. Yes. All right.
Yes, I wrote those in the wrong spot. We have 800 modified volts.
Thank you. I'll give you that one. So you're special. It's starting to get hot. Thank God I have camouflage shorts on. Mia Chapman, do you have the schedule up there? Are we at intermission after this? Yes? Yes, thumbs up. All right, so if you guys are out there in the live track feed, we got another podium out here. Declan Shields, man, been on this podium all week long. And we're waiting for Connor Power right now. So, Connor, come on up here. Let's get that interview. All right, bang. Well, man, the weekend of the heat, it's probably going to be our last weekend of racing in this heat, and it ain't even that hot, but the heat plays into it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I had to go slow really most of the race because the belt was going to blow and the battery died at the end.
You had all kinds of challenges.
But yeah, we finished.
Yeah, that's got to feel good, man, especially when the car's just barely a bit in. In fact, you had to be pushed into the end there.
Yeah, the battery died.
That's it. Done. What do they say it now in the social side? That your battery left the chat. All right, very good. Let's talk about the people that make your race program happen.
My dad, my mom's, my sisters, AZ Dentworks, Power Auto Glass, SynFab, Sparko, and GSP.
Man, you had a lot of problems, but man, you got it done. Third place, still got to feel good.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Connor Power doing a great job, but let's keep moving on here. Landon Morrow, I mean, you've been on the podium again all weekend. Can't be too mad at where you're at, but take us from the race. What happened out there?
Off the start, I got out in the lead, and then Declan slowly started getting closer. My car was bogging a little bit, and then he passed me in the straight.
Man, he came from behind and just got out there and out he went.
Yeah.
All right, well, you still did an amazing job out there racing. The car seemed to be in good shape. You look like you can do another 10 laps.
Yeah.
I knew you could. All right, well, let's talk about the people that make your race day happen.
My mom, my dad, my grandma and grandpa, my sister, GBC Tires, PEP Performance, Anti-Gravity Batteries, Limosis Racing, Sprocket Specialists, and that's it.
All right, very good. We got one more race from you coming up.
Yeah.
All right, I can't wait. You can get on my podium again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, good luck. You guys make some noise. Landon Morrow out there. Declan Shields. If my eyes don't deceive me, you were in the back and you walked all the way up to this field to get up here to the first place. Is that accurate?
Yep.
Man, that's got to feel, that's a good day of racing right there when you have to get in that car. And if you want this position, you really had to work hard.
Yeah.
All right, great job out there. Tell us about the race for you.
So I started dead last. I got a good start. I think I was up to second or third. And then second lap, I think I did a 360, and that definitely put me a little behind. But then I started pushing, and I caught Landon, and I railed the last corner, and I just barely made it happen.
Man, it looked great. It was fun to announce out there, and I was excited that we got to talk to you one more time. So I asked Landon, you got one more race today?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
1,000.
You going to do it?
Yeah.
You going to get on my podium?
Yeah.
You going to win?
Yes.
I love it. All right, there you go. Declan Shields, everybody, your winner out there, and these kids did a great job. And Mia Chapman, I do believe we're going to take a break here, so if you want to talk more with Jennifer Owens up there or anything you'd like, but I do believe we are at intermission. Is that accurate? Yeah, head on up. Let me get out the way. Woo. If you're out there on the live track feed, we're going to take a short intermission. If you're looking at the track feed and say, hey, nothing's happening, we got about 40 minutes from now. We'll be back at 12:45. Stick around.
We actually are going to jump into our 800 modified and open class here pretty soon, and then we'll go into a brief intermission.
Okay, so we're not at the intermission yet. All right, very good. My apologies then. That was my fault, crew and live track feed. We got the 800s. So no intermission yet. My apologies. You know, that's the first mistake I ever made in my life right there.
I thought the same thing, and then I was just informed by Casey, so we got it all straightened out here.
Hey, I got to tell you, man, my day's ruled by two people. Well, actually three if you include Jen. Whatever Casey Kane says and Jason. Well, and then I say, you know, I lovingly say that. Ultimately, if Glenn came over, you got to say, yes, what do you need? But I love it. Casey Cade says we got one more race. We got one more race. Well, Mia Chapman, you heard me call it wrong. I thought we were going into intermission. It was totally my fault. But we are not the 800 modifieds, and this is quite a class, as yesterday's racing extremely exciting for this class.
Definitely, yeah. They put on a great show out here. They have some great battles. Really, the entire field are pretty close together. Looking at the lap times, they're not far off. So, yeah, I'm interested to see how today plays out. Who's going to maybe play it safe or who's going to go for it? We'll have to wait and see.
And I would imagine with this class, as you said, very competitive. These cars, they keep getting faster and faster as the day goes on. But we got some big names out here. Blaine Proctor, been enjoying the podium all weekend long. Blaine Proctor pretty much been on the podium every race that Blaine has been in. Jackson Witherow, same thing. You know, Jackson Witherow, lots of podium time for Jackson. And BJ Hawthorne and Kia Sane. You know, any one of these drivers could be up here. But, man, Olivia Woods yesterday, what a bizarre turn of events for her after sliding out, after collecting a few of the cars yesterday, and then in that same race putting it over on the side, getting that car flipped back over, still being on the lead lap, and winning the race.
Definitely, yeah. Sometimes that's how it goes, and it's chaotic and it's crazy, but all that matters is that you get a grip on things and charge for it, and that's exactly what she did. So, yeah, excited to see what she does today and kind of where she ends up.
Well, today she gets to prove that yesterday wasn't just handed to her. So, and we've talked about it. She has the car. You know, I told you I love the way her car is set up a little bit different. A little bit bigger, wider tires than the rest of the field, and it's just a little different. So we get to see her driving and everything right now come to fruition. Can she hold off Blaine Proctor? Can she hold off Jackson Witherow? We know that those two are very tough competitors out here in this field, so you keep saying it. It's going to be interesting to watch this race. I think we're going to have a race on our hand.
Definitely, and Jackson Witherow was actually on the track, I think, a couple times earlier today, so he kind of got a look at it and kind of what the track conditions are like. Now he's transitioning to running the big track for the first time today. So, yeah, excited to see how he handles that too. You know, he's a force to be reckoned with out here. Man,
and 800 cc's, and these are modified 800s. I mean, you know, I know you're used to the power of the 1000s, man, but these 800s, they're a little bit smaller car, but that's only 100 cc less, 100 cc give or take what you guys are working with. And, I mean, these cars just haul the mail.
Definitely.
Well, here we go. Green flag flies. Jackson Witherow trying to get around immediately the Blaine Proctor car as they go into turn one. Blaine Proctor with a little bit of catching up there. Jackson Witherow on the outside to Olivia Woods already. Jackson coming out of the gate swinging, wanting to get that car out front early. And it looks like to me that Olivia Woods, they're checking up a little too early, getting on the binders here going into turn two, and we got a problem with the car. But Jackson Witherow all the way up to first place, getting by both cars before half track.
Yeah, definitely a man on a mission today. Once he gets out there with no problems, he's one of the most consistent drivers we see out here and definitely hits his points.
Well, indeed, and very consistent. And let's hope no race gremlin comes up here for him, and he's going to enjoy his first place of the weekend. And I know that's going to be pretty exciting for Jackson Witherow. Man, day 2, very eventful. A lot of drama coming out here for day 2 of racing. But here we go, Jackson Witherow. Everything goes as planned. Like we said, for some reason when these cars get out front, they check out this weekend. You can hear Blaine Proctor's car out there, a little different sound coming from it. I'm wondering if he's having exhaust problems. Maybe that's normal. I don't know. Or maybe that was the car here. I don't know what's going on. Kay is saying, appearing to be struggling with that car a little bit. And Kay will... Oh, I thought Kay was going to exit the course. But Jackson Witherow right now, just running his own race. And it sounded like he's going to get it done here today. And I do believe this is our first mandatory caution class. And let's talk about that, mandatory cautions. You know, there's two very definitive sides of the competition yellow. I've seen racers say they love it because they're able to get back into competition. But I see racers that are capable of checking out like this that get frustrated. Well, no, I ran my race. I should be able to take advantage of my lead. How do you feel? What do you feel about competition yellow?
You know, it's tough because when you're running in the front and you're doing really well, the last thing you want is for the race to get, restacked and to take the green flag again. But on the other hand, if you're in the back and maybe you're lacking back a little bit, especially on a big track like this, it's easy to fall behind if you're not pushing, and having issues. So I think it can be a good thing and a bad thing. I think it's helpful in a big track like this for the other half of the field to kind of maybe have the opportunity to catch up and gain a position again. But yeah, definitely tough when you're running in the front.
Well, what I've always loved about the competition yellow when I have conversations as an announcer, and I would probably still have the conversation as a racer, but is that you can have a strategy. Now you have a new tool in your strategy department. There's basically, you split the race in two sections, pre-flag and post-flag. And some teams will say, well, I just want to go out there and get a feel of the track on the first half, but we'll race after the competition yellow. And that's not a bad idea, providing the rest of the field's going to be consistent with and they're not doing the same thing. So it's kind of like, you ever seen bicycle races? They all just kind of cruise along in a group, but they kind of just looking around for the first one that's going to start digging, because that's exactly what it is. If they start digging and getting that sprint, they get winded too fast and they peel off. So much strategy that has to go on in dealing with the competition yellow.
It's definitely, yeah. When I grew up racing with the competition yellow, so I'm used to it. I don't really mind it. But I can definitely see how some racers can get frustrated with it. But I think it only, teaches you new tools and skills to learn for when you're in situations like that.
I'm all for it. I'm going all out no matter what. I think that's the school I'm from. I'm out there. I'm driving the wheels off that thing.
Yeah, definitely the best way to put on a show. Kind of restack them and send them to green again and see what happens.
Well, and isn't it the funnest? Like, even if you're way out front, just blister a lap out there, and when you're out front, it's actually kind of a little more gratifying because you're out front and you set the car perfect, and you look at you kind of feeling yourself. You're like, I felt pretty good. That was a good lap.
Definitely, yeah. Especially, if you're in the front of the field, there's a pretty good chance, you're one of the quick guys out there. And so, yeah, mostly it's just getting through those first couple corners and hammering down again.
Jeez. All right, well, great drone footage right there, Brian. Now, on the live track, you can see it. Jackson Witherow down the front straightaway. This race is scheduled for 10 laps. And there's Brian with that exceptional. You know, I've talked about it yesterday, and I want you to be the driver, but that right here, following you, getting close to that window, and as soon as you make the corner, right through it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. It's too early to tell, but I hear some noises, and by Jason's reaction, I'm hoping that Jackson Witherow doesn't have a problem, mechanical problem. Yeah. Jason, is everything okay with the car? Thumbs up, or is something going on? Is something going on with the car? We're good. Okay. I don't want to announce that then. I don't want to jinx it. I just heard a little bit of a rowdy noise out there, so all right. Jason giving me thumbs up. Jackson Witherow still fine. There it is, the competition yellow. We were talking about it. And now, well, I mean, my concern is warranted, but it doesn't sound like it is vindicated. So, all right. So very good. Jackson Witherow way out front of the rest of the field, and I do believe our second place is going to be the car belonging to Olivia Woods. Good morning, Mikey Childress. That's going to mean that Mikey Childress Jr. is going to be coming out here, so good to see him out here. That's awesome. Got to interview Junior, and it was awesome out there. He's you definitely, you know, like, I know your dad, you know, you guys are so much, well, you guys are so much alike, but so different, but it's neat to see those two, Junior and Senior, that, man, they're almost the same as well, their mannerisms and the way that they talk and do things, so. We'll see that coming up next. All right, trying to stack this field. Olivia Woods already there, and Jackson Witherow out front. And here it is. They're going to have to... that's your brother out there? Sure is. They broke the fence post. Yeah. Kick those two out. 86 them. In fact, Glenn, we'll talk about it right now. If you're joining us live out there in the live track feed, whether on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or any one of them, during the intermission, we're going to shut the live track feed off, and we'll be coming back within 40 minutes. And when we shut it off, we should be back somewhere in the neighborhood of 12:45, 1 o'clock. So if you're out there watching the live track feed, it is going to go dark for 40 minutes during our intermission here physically at the track, and we'll go from there. Mikey Childress, come on up here. Slide in here while we got a little bit of a break here. You got to be pretty proud of Mikey Childress. Grab that. Junior out here doing a great job this weekend.
Yeah, yesterday was difficult. We missed our setup a little bit, and I told him, I said, you're not the fastest today, but the track conditions are pretty tough, so just be smart. And he stayed out of all the accidents and didn't cause any himself, so I was pretty proud of him.
Well, let me ask you this too, you know, because knowing your racing background, do you teach him a lot, or do you allow him to experiment at his own and learn the same way you did?
Well, I try to explain to him, you know, like, okay, with these conditions, the car's going to react like this, or, you know, we're making this adjustment. It could cause the car to do this, so it's fun to watch him learn. And then I'll set back and I won't make a change, and I'll tell him I made a change. I'm like,
placebo adjust.
I'm like, did you feel that change? He'll be like, oh yeah, I felt it. It was great. I'm like, okay.
Have you told him you've done that?
Yeah, but now he's getting to the point where he's starting. He knows.
Yeah.
So it's cool to watch him grow and become better and feel what the car's doing.
So I have things too, you know, like. I'm getting old. Yesterday was my 55th birthday, and, you know, I still want to race. You know, I still want to race down to Baja. I'll be down there racing. I'll be down there racing Mighty Mouse with the Cobb family, so I'm really excited about that. But I find myself wanting to invest into my son. Are you there? Do you ever consider yourself not racing anymore and just investing everything into Mikey?
You know, when the chances come along for me to race, of course I'm going to take them. But right now, like, my main focus is on him. So
yeah,
all the extra money we have and all the extra stuff, and when he complains that he wants something, I do my best to try to get it for him.
Like, no, come on in here. We got the race going on really quick, but I think we're coming to the conclusion of this race. But take us from it. Do you learn a lot from Dad, or do you just learn it all on yourself?
A lot of it was kind of like, he teaches me the lines and stuff, but a lot of it was kind of self-taught, like how to drive smarter and all that stuff. But I think what a lot of people don't realize is it's not about going fast, it's more about being smart.
I agree. You know, you said you covered that. That's what I said on the podium yesterday. You covered that on the podium, and I agree. Racing sometimes isn't always about make it or break it. It's about racing smart, getting that vehicle across the finish. Now, coming from a desert racing career, that's what it's all about. You got that. You have to be easy on equipment. You know, some of the biggest names weren't the fastest. Ivan Stewart for the back in the day. That Toyota wasn't that fast, but it finished every race it entered. You know, the Nissan of Roger Mears, they were the only manufacturer that won every race one season that they entered. They finished and won every single race. So attrition and being easy on equipment, that's I think that's a very smart thing to say in off-road racing.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, so what are some of the things you've learned from him? And I'll hand it back.
A lot, honestly. He really does teach me everything, and he's made me a better man. He's made me a better driver. He's overall a better person.
Let me ask you the last question, because I don't get to ask you these questions on the podium. Do you have any aspiration to desert race?
I want to, yeah. I think that's something in the future. I think we're gonna start doing it with a couple other families.
Do you still have a truck? Do you have a truck? Or what are you doing?
I don't have any trucks right now. I race with a guy out of Colorado, and then I've got some things in the works right now. But you know, the funny thing is, everybody's asked me, why won't you let Michael race motorcycles?
Yeah,
and I know the pain and the broken bones and the surgeries. I know what comes with that territory, so I don't want to see him go through that. And you know, the motorcycle thing's great, but it's not worth it in my eyes. I've been through it. I mean, I lived a great life and a great career, and I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to see him go through it. I'd rather put him in a cage and know that he's going to be a little safer.
It's so funny. I'm exactly at that exact point with my 13-year-old. But I've got him the dirt bikes, and now he's at school, and all the kids are saying, "Let's go race dirt bikes." So I got him a 125. I broke down. I actually already bought him a 252 stroke. So I'm already back in it. Let's get him racing. I don't care. Let him race what he wants. But yes, I have already talked about getting him in one of these cars out here. He's already out here this week and going, I want to race. I'm going, don't tell me that, kid, because you're going to be one of these kids. All right. Well, great having you up here. Good luck and everything this weekend, and good to see you, Mikey Childress and
thanks for
Michael.
having us, and thanks, Core, for giving us an opportunity, a place to go racing. Kind of bummed that all the races are here next year, but hopefully we'll get something going in the future where he comes out to the west. But enough about us. We're White Flag. Check this out.
Thank you very much. Great interview out there. And man, if you don't know much about him, I'm gonna tell you about him, man. I've been jokingly saying, but not for real, jokingly. That's an off-road racing legend right there. Lots of desert racing, and we're okay. All right. So here we go. Wow, Jackson, we just got done saying it. Let's hope that.
Yeah, I think whatever problems he was having, it finally gave into the car, and yeah, he's sitting in the infield right now. But he did prove on the track he was fast, he was competitive. Definitely a bummer he couldn't finish the race out like that, but yeah, that's racing. It happens.
I'm not going down there. You're gonna go interview Olivia. I'm not going. I refuse. I don't. I'm just kidding. Well, you know what? Tough luck out there, but you know, this does give an opportunity for KSA, and if she just gets the car around, to be on the podium. Well, not the way they want to do it, but you know what? Podium's a podium, and sometimes, as we talked about it yesterday, the race of endurance can come into it, as you see right there. Olivia Woods, checkered flag, and I know she's going to say it again, not the way that she wanted to win it, but here she is. 2-day winner right there.
Hey, you still have to be there and still have to be in the race to end up on the podium. So, you know, sometimes that's just how it plays out. And, yeah, that's why it's so important to be there and finish the race out wherever you do. And
man,
yeah,
indeed. She's driving up here all by herself. Look at it. She don't need no pace car. She knows where it is. All right, well, hey, I want to remind you guys one more time, if you're out there joining us on the live track feed, I'm going to go down there and interview Kea and Olivia, and we are going to go dark on the live track feed until about 12:45, 1 o'clock. So if you're out there watching on the live track feed, you can leave it right there where it is, but it is going to go dark for a little bit. We're going to shut the live track feed off, and we will come back here in about 40 minutes. So I'm going to state one more time at the end of the interview, and I'm going to go down and talk to these young ladies right now. All right, this young lady again on top of the podium. Get on up here, Olivia. We're going to wait for Kay to get over here as well. You know what? We can start this interview. It's okay. But you just stay up here, and we'll just have a little chat out here. Yesterday, I was able to announce it. A little bit of a error in turn 3. Checked up a few people out there. They had some issues after that. You ended up getting tipped over on your side. At the end of the race, you were on top of the podium. We talked about it yesterday. Probably not the way you want to get it, but hey, win's a win. Same thing here today. Stacked field, 5 cars out there, and they were just dropping like flies. And there we go. You were just there to pick up the tab. Looked like you had a pretty much flawless race. So you know what? Today, a little more vindicated for today.
Yeah, there's your clean race.
That's right. Indeed. But man, let's talk about it. How old are you now?
Huh?
How old are you?
12.
All right. What's in store in your future? Where do you see your racing career taking you?
Probably desert racing.
You want a desert race. Do you have a favorite desert racer right now?
Not really.
No, but it intrigues you, right?
Yeah.
You know it's hot, hard, and long, and everything out there. It's just times 300 out there in that truck.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're ready for that?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Well, I tell you what, desert racing is a different beast altogether. I'm just waiting for Kea, and looks like Jackson is going to be able to get up here in 3rd place. But, all right, I've got your interview. Who do you want to say thank you to?
I'm going to say thank you to 2X for building my car, making it all nice. 518 for wrapping it, making it all pretty. Apex, my mom and dad. I already said 2X.
Sorry. You can say it again and again. No sponsor is going to be mad at you for repeating their name.
Yeah. Friday Racing for building my car. As long as, with Corey, EVR, City Towing, Rugged Radios, Go Fast Girls, Casatech, Alexia Leeming, XCC, I don't remember.
I was wondering where she was at, if she's still up there and she'd hear it, but she's standing right there. Great job. All right, well, that's it. And I do got one more thing to say. I love the way your car looks. It just looks different from everybody else. It looks great out on the track, and you do a great job getting it around the track.
Thank you.
All right, very good. That's going to do it. Hey, come on, you two. I'm interviewing her because I'm waiting on you guys. And, man, we got some talking to do. Go up here and grab that. You're second. So keep going. Keep going. Yeah, you can stay up here because we'll get a picture of all 3 of you. I mean, you heard me talking to about the race. It was a race of attrition, and it handed to you guys. How does that feel?
Feels good.
I mean, you got to be there at the end to pick up this podium. Is that right?
Yeah.
And, well, take us from your race. What was it like? Were you experiencing some problems over with the car?
So yesterday when they got in that big pile up and my car got taken out of the race, I thought I was not going to be able to race, and everybody else thought I wasn't going to be able to race either. And then we worked on the car almost all night trying to get it fixed. They did a lot of stuff to fix the car, and we came back out here today knowing it was broken. They just try your best to finish, and I guess I did. So
that's what it's about. I mean, it can happen. Odder things have happened in racing. So congratulations, though. And sometimes in that class, it's about who could just be there to pick up that position.
Yeah.
You did it. That's a big smile. Congratulations. Anybody else you want to say thank you to?
I want to say thank you to God for keeping me safe. My mom, my dad, Braden Johnson, Chris DeSosa Diaz for building the car, front and back. Luss Plumbing, Signs Unlimited, Glenn Johnson Cooling and Heating, Brandon Johnson with Ramsey Towing, MRT Tires, and all my friends and family that support me on the live and here in person.
All right. Very good. I might have handed you the wrong trophy, or the wrong trophy was handed there, but we still got the interview we were looking for. Good day of racing.
Yeah.
All right, let me get out the way here. I don't know. The girls will set you straight, and who's who and what went where, and did they swap it? And then what do I got for Jackson? All right. Well, hey. You know what I love about my job? I'm just the guy that goes blah, 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 blah. I let everybody else handle it because I wouldn't know what else to do. All right, well, hey, man. Podium's a podium. Here you are again. I told you we're going to call this the Withrow Podium. What happened out there?
The car died on itself.
Just done.
Done.
And you got to be pushed in. Have you ever been pushed into the podium?
Yep.
Yeah. You had to think about it, but it wasn't a quick yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, very good. One more class for you?
No.
That's it.
That's it.
Done. Withrow is done for the weekend.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations, man. You cannot be mad at this weekend of racing, and I hope to goodness you really had a good weekend.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear that long list for the last time of the weekend from Jackson Withrow.
God for keeping me safe, my mom and my dad, Jimmy and Extreme Machine Fabrication, Tyler and Jaden for the Hoosier Tires, and the people that prep the track.
Woo! That is Kelvin, and I will tell him that you said the track was on point.
Yep.
All right, let me get out the way, and there you go. That's going to do it. You guys, we're going to go dark here on the live track feed. If we haven't already, sit tight. We're going to go take a break, and we'll be back here at 12:45, 1 o'clock. Stick around.